What's up, faithful? You know what time it is. It's time for No Harm, No Foul. Wayne Breezie, Mike Andrews. We are back. It is Face Off Friday. Face Off Friday. We got a dope bout for everybody today, man. I'm excited to talk. But before we do, I got to check in with my man, the man with the master plan, the one and only Mike Andrews. What's going on, family?
Yeah. Another day above ground, man. Looking at the top of the flowers, not the bottoms, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm happy to be here, blessed. And I'm happy that all of the viewers out there are with us as well, man. Happy to see you. And I'm ready to get into this weekend, man. I'm ready for this matchup. I'm ready for this face-off Friday, man. Let's get into it, man.
Let's do it, man. Now, look, there's a lot of stuff going down with the Niners. Practice report today. No Elijah Mitchell for the second straight day. Looks like he's not going to play this Sunday, Mike. What do you?
Oh, he just came back.
Not Elijah Mitchell. Dre Greenlaw. Sorry.
I'm about to say.
No, Mitchell's practicing. Dre Greenlaw, though. That's even more important.
He's got the hamstring thing going on, right? So is this like, you know, the playbook well enough? Like, we gonna keep nursing it? Or is this like he wasn't on the side field at all? Like, what's your gut telling you? I know we don't know. We not in there. I mean, we could try to make some calls or something, but like, what's your gut tell you right now?
I think, like, my gut's telling me he's not going to play because they might not need him.
Wow. Shots fired over there, man. What's y'all?
That's what it's telling me, man. That, like, okay. They may not need a Dre Greenlaw, especially with the player Oren Burks. Like, Oren Burks has been playing well. So, hey, man, if you got to take a week off, because we're on the road again for Monday Night Football, I give him that extra time and nurse that
extra time.
Yeah.
And I heard that the Niners aren't traveling. I mean, they're not staying east. So this is going to be a trip to Cleveland,
and then
back west, and then back to Minnesota. So, you know, it's a lot of moving parts with that. You know, the swelling and stuff like that can happen from flying and all. So maybe you might be right. They might have my man sitting still saying, "Hey, yo, park it, chill out."
Speaking of that, the Niners made the announcement that they're going to be wearing their home red jerseys at this game.
Oh my God, that's our funeral colors. Like, do you understand?
I don't understand Cleveland, bro. Like, I don't. Why do you want to wear white throwbacks? Because they want the blood of the red to drip all over their uniforms. That's the only thing I could think of. This is the dumbest decision ever.
I don't know if people know, like, what we doing when we are in Levi's. Like, don't let them even think it's a home game. You know the crowd's gonna be there. The crowd's gonna be into it already. You letting us wear the home colors? Like, do you know what the Niners are doing at home right now? Do you know, like, the crazy, like, record that we have in our last 15 games at home? It's insane. Like, they should not be doing this. This is very ill-advised. Very ill-advised.
Now, the Rams did this as well, right? This year.
But that was a home game.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
But for Kyle Shanahan, this is a home game too. Right? Isn't this
a return? The king has returned.
Yes. Shout out to everybody out there in the chat. I see there's plenty of Breezy Bunch crew members out there. There's plenty of people from the Nothing But Niners channel as well. I see Justice is out there. Haven't talked to you in a minute. What's going on? What's going on?
Building.
Both channels too, right? Like, and this is how you do it. Like, you watch on both channels. Like, that's how you do it. Peachy's in the building. Grizz is in the building.
Fantasy football.
Oh, I play you this week. Did you start Patrick Mahomes last night?
Hell no. Oh, sorry. Wait, what? No, I did not in our league. No.
Good.
I told you about that. What you mean good? He
only
had 18 points.
You asked the question. You asked on. So I didn't know what you did. I don't be paying attention to it. Listen, I
You,
don't care about fantasy football at this point. Like, like at this point, it is what it is. I do it for the love of it. But
you should have hoped I started him. He only got 18 points. I
that's
wasn't
what.
nah.
Well, I said. Well, I'm happy. Like, listen, if you started Josh Allen, cool. Let's see what happens. He's playing the Giants. It'd be the funniest thing, right? If on the Giants he struggles, right? That'd be the funny.
Finally wake up.
No. It's not even that. Like they blitz heavily. Like, can Josh Allen handle the blitz like Brock Purdy? That's the question.
You know what? I don't want to get too sidetracked, but I hope they blitz him the way they blitz Purdy because Josh Allen will move. He'll take off.
Right.
And that'll be rushing yards and not passing. Oh, I'll take that all day.
I hear you, bro.
That's a tally a little different, you know?
Yeah, it's cool. But listen, Mike, far as the 49ers, man, nothing really much going on other the fact that the 49ers are a -10 at the Browns.
No, it went up again?
It's gonna
Fam,
probably be
stop. So the first number, like boom, boom, right? It was like 7.5.
now the first number was
Then
5.5. That was the first number. I remember that. It was 5.5. Then it went up to 6.5. And then I think I don't even think it touched the sevens. I think it went from
I
six
thought
and
I
a,
saw 7.5 and then went straight to 9.5.
maybe you saw that. Maybe you did.
That's cool. That's great. Yo, this is super disrespectful. See, we about to get popped. We about to get popped in the mouth.
Why?
Myles Garrett gonna have a field day. He gonna have a field day over Colton McKivitz. You got
Mike,
Trent Williams talking about I'm losing
first
sleep.
of all,
'cause I ain't getting
he don't
played.
even line up on Colt McKivit's side. That's the
You
funny
ain't
thing.
you ain't hear what I said though. You ain't hear what I said. You got Trent Williams. I'm losing sleep over playing guys like him because he reminds me of. And he's gonna sit there and prepare for him. And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna snap, crack, and pop his ass right on over to the other side of the offensive line.
Bro.
He gonna be lined up over Colton McKivitz like something we ain't never seen before.
Bro.
What? Can I ask a question?
Bro.
Do you know which one of his foot was injured?
It don't matter.
It does. If it's your get off foot. So if your get off is going to be bad off of your regular foot, then switch them to the other side so we can get off the other foot.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Period. I don't give what foot it is. He could have had two good feet in this game, and I feel like the Niners have a game plan for Myles Garrett. If anything, you better worry about Zadarius Smith, who has speed. That's the question. Like the speed guy. So he plays very well against the 49ers when he was with the Vikings. But you know who doesn't play, who didn't play well? I don't think he played well. I don't think he played astonishing. Maybe I should say that.
I'm about to say, yeah.
Well, I mean, look, do we need to have this conversation? All right, you know what? Let's go ahead, get the bout up.
Yeah.
It's time.
Let's go.
It's time. All right, it's the face-off challenge. It's Nick Bosa versus Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett. I like the name Myles. Who's the first person or first character that comes to mind when you see the name Myles?
Oh, it was from a black sitcom. Damn, what was it?
Living
Was
Single?
No, Living Single. Myles. Yes,
Living Single.
Living Single. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. It was that. I got an Uncle Myles though. Well, that's their last name though. So you know, and it's spelled the same way.
That's
Spelled the
funny
same
because
way.
the first Myles that came to mind was the Myles from Soul Food. Remember he played the piano? He cheated on
Yeah,
Vanessa Williams.
you would remember the piano playing dude, right?
It's just crazy. I mean, Myles used to sing on Living Single.
Hey,
Oh,
you
Myles
gotta
from
go and see
Moesha.
Moesha. That's
Oh,
right.
wait, Miles Morales. This is so cool. Yo,
Spider-Man.
Dubs.
They got Miles Davis. I mean, different spelling, but I respect that though. Come on now.
How can you not respect the legend? You know what's funny?
Yeah.
It's funny because that was a dumbass question that I just thought of real quick, and now look at all the great answers we get. Like I would never thought about
What's
that.
the
All right,
first Miles that come to mind?
first
I
Miles that
like
come to
that,
mind.
man.
All right, I could ask you, what's the first Nick that comes to mind when you think the word Nick?
Plead fifth.
Mm-hmm.
We got some positive momentum going right now, so I'm gonna keep it that way. I don't like how you just.
I was thinking of Jolly Old Saint Nick, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, him, Nicolas Cage. How's that?
That's a good Nick. That's a going in 60 seconds Nick. I like that Nick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or hear
Nick
me out.
Cannon.
No. I'm gonna get back to Nicolas Cage. You said going to 60 seconds. What
Mhm.
about
Face Off? Ooh, yes. But you know what? It's different because we don't call him Nick Cage. We call him Nicolas Cage. Does he count?
That's true. It's true. That's true. No, because there are people who go by Nicholas and there are people who go by Nick. And see, like she said, Saban down there. You know what I mean? Like yeah, yeah. So there are Nicks and there are Nicholases.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
want to offend Mr. Cage and calling him Nick Cage because I
Nick
don't think we
Cage.
ever called him Nick Cage.
Yeah, that's true. I was just trying to tie it back into the show, and
It's all good. It's
damn,
all good.
you put the spike through my foot on that.
Speaking of spike to the foot, let's talk about Myles Garrett. So
There
his
hell, we
career,
back on it.
yo, tell me we not done with it.
We-
Myles Garrett, 2 solo tackles and a sack in his first and only game
Against
against
the 49ers
against
2019.
against the 49ers in 2019. Yep, 2 tackles. One of them was a sack for -7 yards. That was Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Yes, it was.
Hmm.
Yes, it was Jimmy G who threw for. Oh, I don't have it in front of me. It was like 180 something yards on
Mhm.
damn near 30 attempts. I think he was like 20 or 29 in that game. 185, 87, something like that yards with 2 touchdowns. No picks though. No
I
picks.
well, who was that? Was Joe Staley, right? And Mike McGlinchey.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay,
Because we got
so
Trent in 2020.
yeah, so that was Joe Staley and Mike McGlinchey. So Joe Staley and Mike McGlinchey held their own against a Myles Garrett. No,
I feel like he had a decent. He didn't have the best statistical
it's not.
game, right? But
What's decent? If he two tack was he just even if you didn't watch this game, Mike. Like I mean, you want me to go to his pressures because then I have to dig back. But just looking at the stats, you can't even. You could say it's decent, but I felt
you
like
know,
the other guy had a better game.
I'll pull it up the 2019 actual game because all right, yes, the other guy had a better game, but that's not fair. This was personal from the rip. This was
Oh,
this
come
wasn't about
on, Mike.
this.
Come
It
on, Mike. Every football game is personal, bro.
no, it's not. No, it's not. I never seen Nick Bosa.
Every football game is personal, bro.
Mm-mm, Don't
All right.
don't sit here and try to spin it now because Micah Parsons just said that, right? Like how he was all
No, I'm not.
feeling just
I'm
two
not
days
trying.
ago.
No,
But
I'm not trying to spend it. I'm just saying football is it's all personal. It's always personal. Only time it's not personal when they be bullshitting, signing autographs at the end of the game, which I think they should stop. But that's a whole nother conversation.
where I was going with it was this: Nick Bosa had a vendetta against Baker Mayfield that game.
He did.
It's the first time, huh?
He did.
From
He did.
college?
No, no.
Oh,
He
yeah.
did. Yeah.
hmm I
Hmm.
mean, this is the first time I ever heard him admit to talking trash on the field.
Hmm.
And he was remember people, Baker, you
Hmm.
whispering that shit. Don't whisper my name in my ear like that, bro. Like, what are you doing? Right. But like this was something extra for him. The planting of the flag, like that sent shockwaves through the 49ers fan base. This was a vendetta. Like, I'm coming for him. It didn't matter what team he was on. I'm coming for him. I remember what you did to us. I remember what you did to us. And so he was he was a man possessed. He had an extra gear in that game. He's not gonna have that this game. He's not gonna have that this
But what
game.
makes you think Myles Garrett's going to have it in this game? Because now he made it personal because he didn't play well against the 49ers the first time?
No, because Myles Garrett don't need an extra gear. He's just gonna go out there and do what he does.
What, get me two tackles and possibly one of them being a sack?
He had a sack,
Uh-huh.
he had 2 tackles, and he had a tackle for loss and an
It's
additional
that's all
QB
this
hit.
all the same stuff, Mike. The two
Mm-mm.
tackles. Yeah, it is.
I, I
The
promise you they count different.
no, the sack. All right. So who was his tackle for a loss? I'm I think one of his tackles was a sack and his other tackle was a tackle for a loss. If that was the case, he would have had 4 tackles. You just named 4 different things.
You might be right. You might be right. You might be right. He's got 2 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 sack. So, okay. All right. You got me there. I digress.
I'm
I
just saying.
digress.
I'm just saying. Listen, I'm not saying Myles Garrett isn't a dominant defensive end. He's one of the top 5, top 3 defensive ends in football. Right? Pure athletic strength. He's just a freak of nature. Plays for a good team. Has a good supporting cast. I think him getting a Zadarius Smith is enabling him a little bit more. Right? As far as double teams, which one you going to double? Do they have the interior as strong as the Niners? That's a question mark right there. But I think in the edge rushing game, like I think they have the edge over the 49ers in the edge, right? I would agree. I mean, do you agree? I I, I don't see how
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can
You're talking about
disagree.
over the edge in
Yeah, just
particular, right?
just edge in particular, just straight up edge. The Cleveland Browns, in my opinion, have the edge. But then when you go into the interior, they got a former 49er, Maurice Hurst. They got some key pieces in there, but I feel like we have the edge over the interiors. And then overall, when you talk about the front four, it's kind of balanced. But the question is, how does Nick Bosa or Myles Garrett tip the scale?
If Nick Bosa does what he did in 2019, then it's not even a scale. Like it's different weighing systems. Like it's not that. Like did you go over what Nick Bosa did in 2019?
I did not. We were stuck. All right, so Nick Bosa had 4 solo tackles, which 2 of them were sacks. He had a fumble recovery from a forced fumble that he fumbled,
He forced
that he forced.
and 5 quarterback hits. He was all over this kid in this
Yeah,
game.
he was. Yeah,
He
but
was
like we're talking
oh
about
my
that offensive line. Okay, we talk pretty much the same offensive line. They might have a couple of new additions. Ethan Pokich or whatever how you say his last name is dealing with injuries. He has the chest injury. He has a couple of injuries he's dealing with. I'm sure he's gonna play. They're gonna be without Betonio. He's out of the game. So like, who's gonna stop Nick Bosa in this game?
right.
So like, who will have the better game? Well, if the Browns line him up over McKivitz, possibly Myles Garrett. But who's gonna stop Nick Bosa? One on one. We talking one on ones. Because I think the Niners, even if he did line up over uh Colton McKivitz, the Niners still find a way to chip him, get rid of him. Like, you know what I'm saying? They find a way to take him out.
Well, okay. So in that sense, I guess the question becomes, can the Browns scheme things up where they're getting the
Correct.
ball out of their hands fast enough?
Correct. Which is what every team has been trying to do against the 49ers.
Right. Right. And I don't know because they're going to be using PJ Walker, right? Like that's not accurate
I
that
know.
we should.
I wanted you to keep talking about it. I wanted to get to
I'm
this, but
sorry.
yeah.
Um, like it's very different when you have your starter out there, regardless of who it is. As long as it's someone that's been in there and running the team and the system and all that, you basically all right. Let's do hurry up offense every time we step back, right? Every time we drop back, we don't have to hurry to the line, but this is going to be quick hitters, get the ball out of our hand every time it's a passing play. PJ Walker don't have that kind of chemistry, rhythm, and timing.
No.
So if you're trying to stop Nick Bosa one on one, first of all, you're going to lose. You have to use multiple players to slow him down. You have to. I feel the same exact way about Myles Garrett. However, this offense is built for getting rid of the ball quickly. So he might hit Brock a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But
he gonna hit Brock like that.
right.
That's not. Yeah, that's an automatic.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in one on ones. He
Mm-hmm.
might not get the sack, but he gets the pressure and the hit, which is gonna
Right.
force Brock to change up some things. You're gonna have to figure out how to make sure that side is protected. And then I think that's what you do, right? Like you make sure that side is protected, whether we overload on that side, having the tight ends out there or a tight end out there. But the way you negate that too is screens. I would run right at him. I would force him to make sure to see if he can contain the edge and run the outside zone plays or the stretch plays or things like that, the tosses and things like that. Get his big behind out there, tire him out. It's my opinion. Myles Garrett
I
is
like.
trash. Niner for life.
I don't like this, but I like what you said. Are you going to elaborate? Like, why? What's
How can we say Myles Garrett is trash?
okay?
You cannot like him, but he's not trash. It's not trash.
You can even think Nick Bosa is better.
That's fine. You could say that, but can't call him trash. I have zero problems calling players trash, and Myles Garrett is not one of the players I'll call trash.
It's just inaccurate. It's not.
No.
There's no other. Like that's just hate. That's hate.
Look, all I'm saying is Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, two of the most dominant defensive ends. And this might be like, the poll question that I have going on. Obviously, I mean, this is a 49er pretty much show. I mean, I wish we had the Cleveland Brown fan base here because I would love to see what their vote, like who will get more sacks in this week's matchup. I feel like the Niners possibly may give up more sacks than the Cleveland Browns. But
Okay, I can see that.
But a lot of the 49er fans feel that Nick Bosa will finish the game with more sacks. What are your thoughts on that?
I could agree with both. But on the flip side, I don't think it's going to be a high sack game for either team. If I'm being completely honest, to be
Just-
completely transparent and completely honest with you, I think that if the Niners end up turning it up, it'll be midway through the third quarter and towards the end as they're trying to come back, and now they're forced to
Mm.
let plays develop down the field. Because let me ask you this question, right? We're facing off with these two very, very good pass rushers. If you had to tell me, like, is Nick Bosa a speed rusher? Is he a power rusher? Or is he
He's a tactician, right? So like,
tactician, right? He's a
yeah,
technician, right?
yeah,
Okay. How would you classify Myles Garrett?
an athletic power rusher. Doesn't have the speed, but damn, he got that. He got the Drake Jackson bend. Well, Drake has
You
his
know,
bend.
he has speed.
He's not a speed rusher. That's the compare him to Zadarius Smith. Smith is the speed rusher. If Randy
Right.
Gregory plays in this game, he's the speed rusher.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so for Bosa, Bosa's gonna win with his technique. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he doesn't have bend, but he doesn't have the athleticism
Right.
like like Myles Garrett. So Myles Garrett to me wins in that category all day. As far as pure strength, it
It's got
could
to be Garrett too, though, right?
or is it a push? Because Bosa's pretty strong.
See, and I'm not. That's not a shot.
I know it's
I'm
not a shot.
sincerely asking.
I know it's not a shot. I didn't take it as a shot. I I feel like Bosa's pretty strong. It's hard to test Bosa's strength when the mother freaker isn't 1-on-1 all the time.
Right. And then like there are times when we see him just push somebody back, but I feel like that's more technique and leverage, and he just knows how to get
It
up
could be
under him. And
leverage. It could be leverage, Mike. That's dope. It could be. It could be. I think you're right. I think Garrett is just he's just strong. That's why I want. And I asked this question earlier in my show, and I'm glad you didn't get a chance to watch because I'm gonna ask you this question. Strength, Garrett, and I know this is a different. This is now a versus Garrett versus Trent Williams. Strength on strength. Who's winning that? I don't care about 275 versus three, whatever. I'm just talking about strength because they are strong.
yeah, that's a really good question. I'm gonna. Can I? It's a versus, so it can't be a push. I have to pick one.
Yeah,
I have to pick one.
yeah.
All right. So if I'm gonna go with just strength, I'll go I'll go with Trent for just strength.
John V, I don't know if you're talking about the verses or between him and Bosa. I agree. I think Garrett is the stronger guy, but I think Bosa's the smarter guy. It's a big difference. Like, like, uh, like if you're stronger than me, Mike, I gotta figure out a way to use your strength against you.
Mhm.
So I gotta figure out like it's the David and Goliath, and I'm not saying that Nick Bosa's anybody any way David, but just the concept. How do I use that brute strength? How do I make you only use your strength and then you know counteract off of your strength? So that to me, that's where I'm going with that.
So John says Garrett is stronger than anybody on our team as far as pure strength.
Really, I don't know, man.
I don't know about Trent because of how tall is Garrett? It might be Garrett. He's pretty tall too. He's pretty
Let's
tall. Myles Garrett. Oh, I got his page
Myles
pulled up. I don't
Garrett
know
is
why.
6'4". Nick Bosa is 6'4". Myles Garrett weighs 275. Nick Bosa is 266. Trent Williams is probably 6'5", 6'6", weighs 325. But the dude is strong.
Yeah, Trent. So Trent Williams is 6'5". Yeah, but he's also older. He's got that old man strength,
That's a different strength.
and he's more athletic than what his size would suggest.
Probably one of
And
the most
that's the problem.
athletic football players in the league.
That's why I struggled to answer that question because I knew it was about strength. You just said strength for strength, but both of them are athletic guys who can they can generate extra force from other places than just the biceps and the chest.
Good
And
point.
that's why I really struggled with that one. But it's only an inch difference in height. There's not going to be a ton of different leverage points, you know what I mean, that they can get on each other. This is gonna be a good matchup. It's gonna be
I
a good matchup. The old head
Mhm.
might take a couple lumps in this one.
I think they go back and forth. I think at some point Stefanski says, "Listen, Garrett, I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna get you. You got to get on the other side." But you brought up a great question. Which foot is hurt?
Mhm.
Because that's
Oh,
going to
okay.
determine his get off. Pause.
Yeah. I want
Kylie says that Garrett is a more athletic DeMarcus Ware. Okay, I remember DeMarcus Ware.
more athletic. DeMarcus Ware was a bad man.
Yeah, he was.
That's who Trent
Cowboys and
compared him to,
Broncos.
too, right?
I think so.
I think that's who Trent made the comparison to, DeMarcus Ware. All right, so he was in a walking boot at his post-game press conference for the foot injury, and it was questionable whether or not he was going to play. I'm trying to see which foot it is though, because it doesn't say left or right. They just said he was in a walking boot.
I don't know. But
He's day
over
to
or under
day.
while you're looking that up, Mike, five five tackles for one of these defensive ends.
Either one of them
Yeah,
under.
yeah.
If either of those guys have 5
That's a
tackles,
problem. That's an issue.
yeah, not just sacks, just tackles. If either one of them have 5,
Well, I mean,
someone's team.
combined, like, I mean, even if they
No,
get the
no, yeah,
sacks.
yeah. No, I know.
Well,
Somebody's team did something really bad,
right, because Nick Bosa had 4 last game.
and somebody's team was doing something really bad last game. The Cowboys. Thank you. Right, like the Cowboys were doing a lot really bad last game.
Well,
He
I'm
shouldn't.
talking about the last time these two teams played. Like Nick still had 4.
Oh, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
2 of them were
yeah.
sacks. One was a forced fumble. You know what I mean? So like, is it
Mhm.
possible? That was with Baker Mayfield. Like now it's PJ Walker, who I don't think is going to give you that escapability. PJ Walker is going to look to get the ball down the field. He has big time throw ability. The question
Right.
is this the game that the 49ers pass rush is going to be able to tee off, because throwing down the field takes time for it to develop.
Right. And you know, I think that I think PJ Walker is young and wants to throw the ball. He's younger. He's younger. Let me not say young because he's been in the league for a
He's
while.
30.
Uh, right. So I think he wants to throw the ball. He might wait for some plays to develop. He might do it against his better judgment, and it could lead to some opportunities for our secondary and our defensive line. Um, and by the way, I know it was a honorable mention. The Ward versus Ward face-off would have been another discussion that if we would have gotten in some
Oh, I
trouble.
like I like Denzel Ward better than I like Mooney Ward.
Oh, see, you just say it's so cool, and I feel like there's no heat. Like I feel like if I said it, people would have been like, "Oh, they're gonna Mike hating
I
again
I
on the
mean, I mean,
Niners."
it's just the fact. Like, it's the they're different. They're different though. Like they're just different.
Yeah,
I like the
no,
dog. I don't get the dog from Mooney, but I respect. I like him, but like I like the fight in Denzel Ward. I like the dog fight in him.
all right, one word or less. Who has the better game between these two, Garrett and Bosa?
It's Bosa.
It's Bosa. I agree with you. I didn't want to, but I agree with you, especially knowing the foot injury. So I think that's it, Wayne. You got any other words before we get out of here?
Nah, man, what a great show. What a great audience. Shout out to everybody that was out there on both channels and continue to support. We're here Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. You don't want to miss this. It's 30 minutes or less. So make sure you guys are tuned in, locked in, subscribe to the channels, have the bells on, make sure your alerts are on all. All right. And Mike, you can take us home.
No team is safe when the Niners are on the prowl. I'm Mike. That's Wayne. And this is No Harm, No Foul. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.